2, 1, go. So, as you probably just saw from when I started, you get to choose which order you do the first few stages in. And the fastest way to do it is to go second stage first, and then we do the third stage and the first stage, because the order that you get the different magics in the game in depends on what order you do these first 3 levels in, because you get them at the end of the stages. It's a kind of standard platformer sort of thing, a bit of a grapple section here. So the main aim of the run is I need to get enough coins at the end of different stages to get weapon upgrades. The sword at the beginning of the game is fairly weak, even with the blue twin doing double the damage of the red twin on melee swings. The main way I get around this is this yellow arc that comes out every few sword swings. That does double damage if it's the thing that hits the enemies. The name I've got actually changes how often that yellow arc appears. H is one of the fastest. It makes it appear every 3 swings. It can be, depending on the name, it can be anything up to like 9 swings per one of them, which obviously slows the run down a heck of a lot. So that's the first boss down. We've got a little bit of an auto-scroller now. Just collecting more coins, basically. When we get to the top of this section, there'll just be 4 little enemies, and that'll be the end of the stage. Yeah, I need to make sure I don't pick up every single coin here. If I do, then the game will give me like a little bonus, and it just wastes a few seconds. It refills my health, which is nice, but don't really need that. That's the first stage done. So I've got the first sword upgrade, and onto round 3. So I'm hoping that I see a row of 3 of the yellow fish here. If I don't, then I need to do a little bit of coin grinding. Just grab these chests. Unfortunately, I didn't. I'm trying to time my sword swings here, and it's not going well. There we go, that's a bit better. The invulnerability time of the boss there is a bit longer than it is to mash the 3 sword swings, so I do need to time it a little bit. That'll be kind of a thing through the run. So I'm going to have to be a little bit careful here. I'm taking a bit more damage than I'd have liked to, so I'm just going to take this health, which also gives me a little bit of invulnerability, just to get through that little spike. So on to the second boss, which is kind of a little ray, kind of angler ray sort of hybrid thing. This is a 2-phase fight, so when I fight its first phase, it comes back, and it's basically the same, just in a slightly bigger area. It's a really kind of simple fight once you've got the mechanics of it, just kind of swings back and forth. I really didn't want to take that damage, but that's fine. So this is the second stage done. Just need to grab this key, which will finish the stage. And I'll quickly talk to the second of the kind of kings that I've got. This guy I'm Sea King, and he gives me a magic ball, which is by far the worst weapon in the game. The worst magic, should I say. But it does serve its purpose on this stage. The mini-boss basically can take him out with 1 hit of it. If you're careful. At least the first phase of it, because it's a kind of a mini 2-phaser again. And did that work? Kind of. That was a bit slow. It's a little bit RNG with where he goes to start with. This guy should be relatively simple to take care of. There we go. And into the cave. So I'll take the top route here, because there's a little coin chest, and it's a bit easier than having to deal with them enemies. A bit of a damage boost through here, just so I can keep moving. This platform cycle is impossible to make, as no matter how I've tried to route that, it just doesn't work. I've got these kind of spare coins, the magic. I won't actually be spending any magic now until the next stage. This guy, his patterns can be annoying, but I've dealt with that actually quite well. And that's that boss down. I'm using the yellow arc to deal with him so much faster than I would do otherwise. That boss fight, before I realised kind of how the combat mechanics worked, it took a good minute to fight that boss. So that's the first 3 stages done. There's a little bit of a cutscene here. I now have the most powerful magic in the game, the magic bomb. It kind of does a full screen explosion, which does more damage than any of the other magics combined. So it's going to make the bosses in the future stages so much faster. So now onto a linear set of stages until the end of the game. I don't get to kind of choose which order anymore. And this one is kind of the first one, which is finding the monster's castle. Grab them just to be sure. I didn't technically need them, but it's nice to have a little bit of a buffer. Taking that damage was really unfortunate. These fairies that are about to come up, if you're at full health, you've got a 50% chance of getting an extra magic bomb from them. But because I took that little damage, it gave me a refill instead. Using the arc on that kind of twin-headed dragon thing is really quite annoying, so most of the time I just don't bother because it wastes more time than I'm actually saving on it. So 50-50 chance of getting a magic here, and I got it, which is really good because it means I can spend all 3 on this next boss, which will save a considerable amount of time, as you'll see. I should probably point out, as you've probably seen from the previous uses of the magics in the game, it's kind of a very flashy effect. So if you're kind of susceptible to that sort of thing, you might want to look away after this kind of little enemy rush thing. When the boss actually jumps down, I'll start to use the magics, so just be aware of that. Right, so in a second he'll jump down. The actual fight will be over relatively quickly. Right, that's him dead. The difference between the keys and these scrolls is when I get the scrolls, it instantly stops my movement and I can't pick up any more coins. In the later stages that'll be a bit more important. I had enough to get this sword upgrade. So this one is kind of underwater section. Again, I went for the fairy to try and get the magic, didn't get it that time. It's not as important in this stage as it will be in one of the later ones. In the kind of second to last main stage, there'll be 2 fairies that I'll want to get magics from both of them. Whether that happens or not, I'll say it very rarely happens. 1 in 4 chance. So this is a bit of a refight of one of the previous bosses, well, the mini bosses at least. I want to try and kill it at the bottom of the screen. If I kill it at the top of the screen, then it has to basically float all the way down from the top, which wastes quite a lot of time. So killing it at the bottom of the screen, it can save up to about 10 seconds. So I've got an actual mini-boss now, like a new one. So this guy, like you can see, just kind of darts around the screen randomly in one of the 4 corner directions. That's him dealt with. None of the bosses in this game take like a particularly long amount of time, at least not with kind of the current strats that I used in this category. And I got the magic from that one, nice. There's 1 more magic in this stage, and a lot of lag in this section. Kind of trying to minimise that's quite difficult. So making my way through this. These spike sections are quite annoying because they've got these little blue enemies there. It can be a lot quicker to just take the damage and move on. This guy, again, quite quick. And that's him done. None of the bosses in this game take a particularly long amount of time. It's mostly a case of have 3 magic and then just throw them all at him. Just want to get 1 here. Probably should have picked up the health, and I really should have gone for that fairy. And I got down. Nope, they're gone. This is going to make the next boss actually quite annoying. He's got potential to actually kill me here, which is bad news for the run in general. So I have to be incredibly careful here. Ah no, right, if I take 1 more hit, then I'll die, so I need to be incredibly careful here. If I die, I'll lose half of my coins, but more importantly for the run at least, I'll go back to the base magic. So I'm just going to take a bit more time doing this. Got him. I'm not quite out of the woods yet. I might get kind of ambushed by an enemy coming into this next section. Right, I'm fine. Gonna grab these kind of spare coins. I am a little bit low, I think. There's another health in here, so I'm just gonna grab that for safety. Right, should be fine now. Right, that's fine. I've only got 2 magic coming into this boss, which is a bit inconvenient. Makes the fight last a little bit longer. Especially because he has a large period of invulnerability. Like, when his wings are shut, I can't do damage to him. There we go, got him. So I need to be careful to not get hit by his boxy here. If I get hit by that pair of boxy shorts, all of these coins, I won't be able to get them because the scroll will just land straight on me and I won't be able to move while it does it. That's fine. I'm going to grab a small health refill and 1 magic here. I'm relying on getting both of the fairies. Just to save time, and to make sure I've got enough coins for the final weapon upgrade, which I'll get at the end of this stage. I also need to buy at least 2 bombs at the end of this stage again, just to kind of speed up the last bosses. So I've got a bit of an auto-scroller. If I take damage like I did just there, it's not the end of the world, but it does waste like a second or so per time I get hit. In each of these there's obviously a chest. Most of them have a 500 coin pickup. One of them doesn't, it just has points, but that's kind of not really a massive deal for the coin management on this. Like, that's the one with just the points in. It's the same one every time, so I don't even know kind of why I'm opening that one. So at the end of this stage, ideally I should have about 25,600 coins. That's to buy all 3 magic. I can get away with having 24,400. Because there is a magic in the next stage, but it's a bit slower to get. That's that mini boss done. Moving on to quite an annoying platforming section. There's quite a lot of enemies and like a lot of these kind of spike cylinders as well. I just have to take my time on it to make sure I don't take any hits. This bit I can take a hit on. There's a health just after it, and it's a big health as well. But it doesn't matter if I take a couple of hits to pick that up. And then I got both magics. Nice. That's a 1 in 4. And it's completely like random chances to whether it happens, so that's good. These kind of little basically a strike swap of that first mini-boss that I fought on round 2. They do it like a wind push back, it's really quite annoying. So we've got the Pickaxe Man, as I call him. I don't know what his actual name is, but he's got 2 phases again. Want to make sure when I come out of this phase he's on screen. If he's off screen, then I can't damage his second phase. Right, that's him down. I'm going to grab this health. See how many coins have I got? 26,000, that's more than enough. So I can get all 3 magics and the final sword upgrade, which will make the last couple of bosses go by a lot faster. So this is the final sort of normal stage. It starts off with one of these vertical climbing sections, and me taking a bit of damage for no real reason. We can get quite a lot of lag here if I'm unlucky. Seems okay. There's actually quite a good amount of lag for this section. It can get really quite bad. I can lose a good 10 seconds to lag on a bad run. I don't need to bother with that fairy. There's another one that I can't actually avoid coming up. And there's a big health kind of in the main boss room. So this is actually this guy, the guy that's behind the text box right now, is the main villain of the whole game. And of course he's a clown, because a game like this, it's going to be a clown, isn't it? So he does this little talking piece and sends his one of his little minions, which we've not seen before. All he does is he kind of spins. That's him dead, nice and easy. And this is the actual clown fight. He teleports every time he gets hit, so doing good damage to him is important. Like hitting him with the yellow arc is even more vital than it is on other boss fights because of just how long it takes for him to teleport around and how much health he has. He can teleport himself off screen, in which case he just sets off another teleport. But that's him dealt with, or so we think. We'll see him again in a couple of minutes. I just need to. The only thing I need to make sure here with coins is I need to make sure I've got at least 3,000, which is easily enough to just grab them and grab the scroll. So now we basically have the reverse of the climbing section, but this time the tower's exploding because apparently killing the clown makes the whole thing just blow up. But this is a nice sort of simple auto-scroller, just in case of avoiding things that are falling at you. You can hit them away with your sword, which makes it even easier to avoid. I need to make sure I don't get any chests here. They cause quite a lot of lag. There's quite a bit of sprite work going on in this level. I need to... Oh, I took a hit, which isn't too bad. There is a health refill. Oh, I want it to be one step up from there. This wastes a couple of seconds now, because it has to come down to me. But it's not too bad. This category is Blue Twin. It's neither any percent or 100%. 100% gets all the shield upgrades as well, which increases your health pool. There are a few runs of that. You can obviously find that on the leaderboards on speedrun.com. The Blue Twin is literally fastest completion with this guy. The Red Twin is faster, and that makes that the any percent run. But it's less reliable. It's a lot more RNG heavy. And so for kind of this sort of situation, marathon runs, we just run with the Blue Twin. So I just drop down here, I take an intentional bit of damage. As soon as you get to the bottom of the screen after that little talking section, it'll transition, so actually taking that hit speeds it up by like a second or so. And that was the last boss, by the way. So get ready on time. As soon as I pick up the scroll, time. wow, that was way too close to the estimate for my liking. Wow. So that was an okay run. Had a couple of dodgy moments, like I had to spend a lot longer on that skeleton mini boss, and just in general, a little bit of RNG didn't work quite as well as I'd have liked to when it comes to the fairy magics. But all in all, not a bad run. Quite happy with that. And I think we're about ready to hand over to the lovely Judge, and he's going to run some tingles for you. So thank you very much for watching, QuickCade guys. Don't forget to, if you can, donate to the to our little cause that we've got going on for Dementia UK here.